How we doing today? It's Wenger again with Fish Head Videos. We're in the basement tying during this COVID-19 thing, which has really been quite the trip. Maybe we could just get the camera guy to scan there a little bit. I got a pile or two there. The fly we're going to do today is Stonefly Nymph, and I want to tell you there's a lot of videos out there, there's a lot of patterns out there, a lot of names of it out there, but I think the one thing that you're going to like about this particular type, this is an easy tie, and believe me, with this particular fly, if you're not losing them, you're not catching fish. So that's the beauty of this. If you lose them, easy tie, easy come, no big deal. So just a little bit on stoneflies. The one beautiful thing about stonefly nymphs is they're on a 3-year cycle, so they're always available as a food source. So they're good all year long. Doesn't matter when you fish them, you're going to catch fish on them. With that, why don't we go through the materials, and we'll get that all set up, and we'll start tying today. So the hook today, we're going to go with a size 8 terrestrial hook or a curved shank hook. I also tied this 4 through 10s. And then the lead today is 0.030 thickness. The legs is a brown super floss. The body is variegated golden and brown chenille. And lastly, the thread we're using today is a waxed 6/0 tobacco brown. So with that, let's get started. Okay, one thing while I'm thinking about it, we're going to insert a picture of a golden stonefly nymph, and you can see how much that the golden stonefly we're going to tie today looks like the picture. One thing I want you to note on the picture, and on a lot of other patterns, people's patterns as well, is that they have 3 sets of legs. I only put on 2 sets of legs, and let me tell you what, this makes it a whole lot easier to tie and doesn't affect the effectiveness at all. You want a lot of these in your box. You're going to lose a lot of them, but you're going to catch a lot of fish. So let's start with the lead. Now I want you to make some notes about when I'm putting this lead on there. So I'm going to put my finger behind the lead. I'm going to hold it in place. Now I'm going to make these wraps tight, right next to each other. You can push them all together or not, just like that. But that's on there tight. That won't even slide. So note here that I left a gap on this end for the antenna and a gap on this end for the tail and the piece of the chenille. All right, so let's attach the thread. Now you'll see people do varying things with this. You don't need to coat that lead like a mummy. Just get it started on there. Come to the back of the fly. Let's build a little dam, I guess you could call it. Keeper, whatever you want to call that. Just keeping the lead from sliding back. Same thing, bring it forward. Do the exact same thing in the front. That's on there real nice and tight, so just like that. So we're going to bring that thread up, just like that. Okay. Now I want to show you a little trick here with this stuff. You know, a lot of people tie this fly, and they just tie on one at a time on each side. The easiest way to do it is to just make it a little longer and just fold it in half like that. You'll cut down on the cost, and it just makes it real easy. So that's the antenna, so we want that going in that direction. So we're just going to lay that right in that gap. I'm just going to bring the thread over, hold it in place, just like that. Wrap that front down. Let me get my fingers out of there. Just like that. Good. The loop on that in the bottom, that's no big deal. So now we're just going to bring that to the back. Okay, right into the space behind the lead. And we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to take that leg, and they're a little hard to pick up. We're going to fold that in half. And the beauty of this is we can trim them to any size that we want as well. We're going to fold that in half, so we're just going to tie that loop right in the void behind the lead. Just like that. Bring that down just a little bit. Keep in mind that you got to stay away from that point. Notice I'm coming in on an angle right there. You don't want to cut your thread. Not a big deal if you do. You can restart it. Okay, just like that. Let's trim this antenna a little bit right here. Just like that. Good. Now it's already looking like a stonefly to me. Okay, we're going to tear off just a tiny piece of that chenille at the front. Okay. We're going to lay that in that void, just where we put the antenna. Just like that. Bring that back, lift it up. Look where you're looking. Just like that. Now we're not going to do anything yet. So we're going to come to the middle of the fly. And here's the part that we were talking about. Go back to the picture and look at the sets of legs. And then this is just a lot better way to go. I'm just using one set on each side. And again, this isn't going to matter one bit to a fish, not one bit. Okay, same thing. We're just going to go somewhere near the middle, and we can move that anywhere we want. And I want you to note just how much more lively. You know, the rubber certainly has its places, but I mean, just look at the life that this thing instills. It's pretty amazing. Okay, we're going to bring that down there. We're going to lift those legs up. We're going to bring that to the void between the lead and the antenna. Okay, now we're going to go back here. Notice I'm picking these two sets of legs up at the back. Now I'm going to take the chenille. I'm just going to reach under with the middle finger of my right hand. Make nice tight wraps right next to each other. Perfect. Just like that. One right between them. That keeps the legs separated. Notice that really nice profile it gives. Pick up both those legs there. Bring that forward. That's amazingly simple. No need to make this a complicated fly. This is an easy fly to tie. Now we're just going to finish that triangular shaped head. Just don't get too much bulk there. Bring that forward. Grab the whip finisher. Finish that off. Let's get a little head cement on there. I prefer a brush. Doesn't really matter, whatever your preference is. And the last thing we're going to do is just trim these legs to the same length. Just like that. Adjust them. There we go. Again, that's going to catch a lot of fish for you. Easy to tie. You're not going to be heartbroken when you lose one. So thanks for viewing. One of the last things we want, again, is to make sure that you subscribe. We really enjoy you watching these videos. Hope you enjoyed this one, but please subscribe. Thanks, and come back again.